Everybody good? Any injuries yet? No injuries so far? All good, no injury. Okay. All right. Here, Tucker. We're gonna hit 10 of our monthly flow real quick. If you raise your hand if you already know the monthly flow. You've been in class, you know it. All right, everyone, keep your hand raised. If you do not have your hand raised, you're gonna run these with somebody who has their hand raised. Okay. All right. So smashing. Elbows on the mat. Yeah. Right. So we get caught here a lot. We're playing butterfly, right? So he's pressuring forward. He doesn't want me to get my hooks active. If he keeps my heels to my butt, it shuts down my ability to really start to extend him. So he starts crowding my hips. This is where we're gonna start running our flow from. So as he gives me this pressure with his hips, I'm gonna take my collar tie. We're gonna load him, and we're gonna hit our forward shift. Load where his head comes to my head, and then I'm taking the soles of my feet straight to that wall along the mat, not up to that wall, like I'm trying to kick that wall. Right there. Base. Okay. As we're coming up, we want to hit as soon as my head crosses this plane of my hips. I want to hit that cross snap. All right. Most of the time, your chest is going to be touching their shoulder, so we're not going to be able to go straight to the choke. If you can, great. If not, though, we need to make an angle. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to put a wall in between me and his tricep here, and I'm going to use my foot to jump my hip, or just take a step, so to speak, with my hip, just to disconnect my chest and the shoulder. As soon as I have this connection here, all I need is for my wrist to be able to fit in this spot. As long as we fit in the spot, it's money. Okay, so I'm here. I hit that cross snap. I pummel my fingers to the inside. I step with my hip. I can use this foot to kind of drive, and I'm immediately inside with the wrist. Here, high wrist, high elbow, and we already got the finish. Right, the elbows to center line. So one more time. He crowds the hips. Okay, and this is particularly going to work when I'm trying to extend him, and he won't let me. He's insistent on crowding my hips. Okay, he really wants to start setting up a body lock or pressure pass here. Okay, so but as he gives me this forward pressure, we're going to accept it. Collar tie, so he can control his posture through the movement. We're going to load him by bringing our knees to our chest. Hit the forward shift, cross snap, inside. Yeah, and there it is. All right. Questions? All right. Half of you have done this. All right. So just hit 10, and then we're going to move on. All right. 1, 2, 3. Who's done it before? What's up, Joshua? You're going to start Alex. Yep. Right. Awesome. Going down. Guys, focus on just knocking them out. I'll be walking around trying to give you little tidbits, but this is not the time necessarily for coaching. Oh yeah. Just getting some movements in. What? You just have this. I'm gonna grab where? So you're gonna slide up your arm out. Okay. It looks much better, Tucker. Yep. Yeah, try and get like a little one. Yep. Okay. Guy on top, make sure you're giving them that look. You got to give them that forward pressure into their hips. That's the look you're trying to give the bottom guy so they can actually hit this. An angle. Angle. And keep that shoulder glued to the back of his neck. Okay. Yep. You pummel your right wrist to the inside, even if you can't get in, just inside the shoulder anywhere, right? Now take that angle out. And angle. Take your right hip, step back with your hip, so to speak. and work that wrist to the inside.
Yeah. He said he knew you.
Here, let me show you, bro. Right here, you just hit that cross snap. This is right here. I'm just gonna follow my hand anywhere to the inside of the delta, just so I have a wall there. Okay, I'm not gonna push it. I just want a wall there so he can't track my chest. And I'm simply going to step my hip out of the shoulder. Just enough. Just enough to create this connection. That's all I need. Just enough to get the wrist in. As soon as it's there, my high wrist is coming to position as much as I possibly can, and my wrist is finding my head or finding my wrist. Yeah, and it helps to have someone there that I can kind of frame my ball here, right? But if I'm here, I'm not pushing. I'm just using it as a wall, and I'm going to drive with my chest as I can even use this foot for this. I just all I want to do is it's almost like I'm just trying to get this left hip back like 40 up. Josh, you want to get it? I can even actually see. Sorry, this one.
I don't know exactly what you're honoring.
See that? All I need is my hip to move. That's what everything else stays connected. I just my hip is what is connected. I just
install the straps. Good.
Out. Good. Come on.
Yeah, that's one.
I'm not on the wrong side.
Huh? No, you're on the right side. I'll toss you over there.
get that. Yep, get the find that notch, Chad. Nah, we don't want to be falling back square, and we already want our elbow up high before we ever sit to a hip.
This elbow?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was on.
You're reaching elbows. The high supposed to call a high elbow. Okay. I was just pushing it on the hand.
You going for a low elbow?
High wrist. Yeah.
That's a low elbow. So here we're gonna hit a high elbow.
Okay.
So we're here. I just hit that snap right here. I gotta create this connection here. And as I create this connection, I'm trying to find that high wrist at the same time, as much as I can. And I meet it. I grab notch my wrist, see how my elbow's high, not down here. Elbow's high. And I'm constantly trying to take it. He falls over, but I'm standing it.
But he's probably not gonna fall over.
Reaching in.
Right.
Maybe this side. Yeah.
But elbows, remember, elbows kind of line up the spine. That's the finish.
You want to push
You
it?
good?
Yeah.
You were. Probably.
We got the comments table.
Probably in order.
Yeah, circle up once you got your 10, guys.
You're good.
Clear these out. I'll go down.
Right.
Yeah, from president.
Are you pulling high elbow? Okay, when you do it, you know, it's counters to go side level, so.
Yeah.
Check.
Real estate appraisals?
What a conversation. He's like, as he hits across now, oh, I do real estate appraisals.
Resi.
Everybody get 10? No, we still got a few more? Yeah, keep going. Everybody get 10. Keep your head in line or in front of your hips, okay? At all times. So stay glued to him. Keep your shoulder driving to the back of the neck. See how your head's behind your hips right now? Yeah. Be on him. Yeah. Otherwise, you're holding yourself up with your core right there. And you won't have nearly as much mobility to find that high risk position, right? Because you're back here instead of here. My elbow is going to get stuck if I'm back here versus if I'm in the right position. As I make that angle, I can find that high risk position. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now, so if you whatever, it drops. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
But I did, you just stay, if you're here, still. Drop it down.
Make sure you finish with that high wrist, high elbow, Josh.
Drop it.
Try to finish with the high wrist, high elbow.
Exactly.
Okay. Right. Here, let me show you what I mean. We're here. I just have our down straps. It'll be on the outside, or it'll make my angle. And as I make the angle, watch my elbow. It starts to shut through because I'm playing at high wrist. Just get right now. As I make my angle, I find the high wrist. Makes sense? And all I need is wrist on the inside. And I want you to finish. Make sure you stay into his neck. As I sit to the hip, grab my elbows towards the center line.
We're probably gonna finish.
Yeah. So we just have like 4 weeks on at like 5 different.
Right across here.
I'll just.
This is like a difference.
Blood's gonna be here.
In the face,
Yeah.
I stay tight. Neck to my shoulder front.
Drop, try to
Sit to this hip.
go back and like try to move.
And my
up
elbows constantly try to
that
find.
thing's deep and make it like
That's the
you're
higher
right,
part.
make it like spurs to the roof.
You were here for that.
Yeah.
Rotate, yeah. Rotate it around.
Watching on the.
We got one.
One viewer. Does that count as high?
It's like.
No. So it is actually someone.
That's why it's like.
We've never had 0 viewers.
Last week we had 18. So that was probably one of our better nights.
Especially for sure. Yeah.
I saw your post.
Yeah.
Like, I get like
If you
notifications.
move on, you're going well. That sometimes. All right, I'm sorry. Arm triangles. I really struggle to take out a blood jump. I always like it's a neck crank for me.
Dave, you film the technique. And then I'll take it back when we break. You good?
It's just age. The longer I sit there, the more stiff my knee. That knee, God,
We'll stay.
my hip. I
We'll
got,
keep you on your feet then.
man, I've got arthritis in my hip now. It's stuck.
I felt it. I was like. All right, so last week we're going over DARS finishing mechanics. This week we're going over Anaconda finishing mechanics. We're gonna look at creating trilemmas with this catatonic series. So first thing we're gonna do is let's get you right here. I need to be on my back or on your side. Go around. All right, so just Anaconda 101.
Wait, what even is this position? So anacondas is a form of katagatame. Went over this last week, right? Head and arm chokes. But my choke arm comes out at the armpit. That's one way to remember it. Versus if I'm going for a darce, my strangle arm comes out at the neck. Okay. If you're ever confused and you're just looking for a way to identify what am I in right now, although it really doesn't matter what you're in, it's head and arm. Right. So what's the fundamental thing they're doing if we have a head and an arm? Like where's the finish?
Shoulders sticking out.
Yeah, it's artery coverage, right? So it's his shoulder and my arm, whether it's my wrist or it's my bicep, right? Yes, chin to chest, right? So you don't really need to stop and think about what position you're in the middle of the match. If you have a head and an arm, we're just thinking about how do I compress arteries, make a scissoring kind of force, take his chin to his chest. All right. So Anaconda, the finish, we're gonna go over the finish. We're gonna start at the end and then we work backwards, right? That's how I like to teach. I like starting at that very end. What are we even trying to do? And then we work backwards. So we ended up here. There's lots of ways to end up here in this particular position, but I've got my chin strap and I've got an arm. Okay. A lot of times, depending on how you ended up here,
you might be more like this. You might not be like in the late stages, like ready to actually finish this, where the elbow has actually crossed his center line. But you might be here. The game of Anaconda is won and lost on this elbow, right? So if his elbow is lower than his shoulder and on this side of his center line, there's no way I'm going to finish this, okay? Or it's highly unlikely to finish it, right? If his elbow is above I need his elbow above his shoulder line, okay? And ideally, I need it across his center line too. Make sense? So if it's this side of the center line and down, tell me one reason why that might be bad. Or two, give me any reasons why you think his elbow being over here sucks, even if my hands are locked. Yes, everybody hear that? Right? As his elbow crosses the center line, watch his shoulder. His shoulder gets closer to the artery. You start to cinch all that slack up. What else? If it's here. What's the other big mechanical advantage he has if, say, we're here? And even if I've locked a choke up, what's the big mechanical advantage he has right here? What's that?
Shoulder.
More specific? It's his lats against my shoulder.
Yeah.
Makes sense? So this whole game is won and lost on this elbow. Once you understand this, now we can start working backwards of like, well, how do I get it over there? Okay. So we've ended up here. The finish, we're going to start with the finish. We're going to drill this real quick. I always want to make sure that one way or another, I'm getting the elbow to that side of the center line and ideally above the shoulder, right? The lower it comes, the harder it is to finish. Here's the sweet spot. It's nice and opened up. My head stays glued, okay? Next, when I start to lock my hands, you're going to see this a lot. A lot of people start to disconnect here and they just start reaching and trying to lock this up. That's going to give him an opportunity to move his elbow, right? So like right here, Chad, don't let me get it. See that? Okay. But watch. When I come through on the tricep and I focus on getting my elbows to the inside, I'm going to be able to control his elbow. I don't want to be on his elbow because if he's inside of my elbow, it's his lat muscle against the end of the lever from my shoulder, right? His elbow is touching my elbow. All right. So if I fight him here, get strong, super hard. If my elbow is on the tricep, get strong. Way harder for him. Okay. So we want to be able to control the tricep. We also don't want to be in the armpit, right? If I start locking it up here, his elbow is super mobile. See that? Yeah. I want to specifically lock up the tricep. So I'm here, okay? I'm never going to lose connection with his tricep. I'm going to start to feed. I'm taking my bicep to the hand. I'm not bringing my hand to the bicep, okay? And I'm not disconnecting. I'm taking my bicep to the hand, working my elbow to the inside. You see how my elbow is now on the inside? So now if he starts getting strong with it, he's going to end up choking himself, okay? Here, I walk up. I'm just like anchoring to his lat muscle here. Now the finish, I start to walk into him. I start to walk in and I'm looking specifically to retract my right elbow back. Like watch my bottom elbow here. It's not so much a squeeze as it's a kind of like a scissoring effect. As I walk in, I'm looking to bring that elbow to the inside. Okay. So here, walk up. I'm walking into him. Are you snapping?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like,
Jeez.
it sounds like something from Alex. And I'm like,
Broke his neck.
He's broke his neck twice now. Was that you? Yeah.
I think he's snapping. I can't see. All right. I'm pulling a hoodie. All right, guys. One more time. Right. And also, I don't want to, if my hips are separated from him, another key detail here, I want to crowd his head, right? If he's able to start turning his head here, yeah, super hard for me to stay control here. But if I crowd his head with my hips and I'm consistently walking into him, much harder for him. Also, I can feed, if his arm is way up here, I can feed, I don't want to start just shucking, right? I want to maintain contact with this elbow. I'm going to feed his arm to me by walking into him. right? Now we walk in and we're looking to bring the elbow to the inside. Okay? We'll go over a couple other mechanics, but everybody go grab 10 of those real quick. Just up, walk in, make sure you're maintaining contact with the tricep the whole time, and focus on retracting the elbow. Or take his chin to his chest. That's all we're doing. Taking his chin to his chest. All right. Any questions? 1, 2, 3.
So you do
Great.
you're taking, when you're here.
It was a snap.
The elbow. This way.
Yeah. Retracting.
So basically bringing it back to reality. Pulling it to your lap. So you can get to your lap.
Tug, this is in your wheelhouse. You need to get this down, get it down good.
Making sure that this elbow is
You've done this before. Just, you need to get the nuance now.
But really,
You can't remember doing anatomy.
I usually have to start with the head and arm and kind of just work my way and figure out where I am with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, you need them on a shoulder, okay? If they're flat on their back, we're not gonna be hitting this. All right, get them on a shoulder.
I'm here.
And go back and start up and do the setup, that's like say loose, like out here, work into position. No. Yeah. Remember, you're gonna keep this.
You pulled it.
Yeah. But you remember that.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. You did. Yeah.
Ian, try to make sure that you're driving into him, keeping him on a shoulder. The more that he flattens out, the harder the finish is going to be on this one. You're going to have to make a modification or go somewhere else. Yeah, walk. No, don't scissor. Just walk into him. Yeah, walk into him. Keep driving his head towards. Take his chin to his chest. Chin to chest. And retract your elbow towards your pocket.
There's no pressure either, but it's not.
And everybody like sucks.
Do it again.
Everybody can like.
Remember, elbow's got to be above the shoulder and on the opposite side of his center line.
And wind up here. Now look at, this is where JC started.
Yeah.
So then, let's see where I am. I'm on the tricep. I'm not in the pit. I'm not on the elbow. And I'm running this.
Yeah, with no connection, like. On this.
You're supposed to be on the tricep.
Here, let me
Don't
see.
be down in here.
Watch, make sure you're crowding his head at all times. And you're pulling that right on back. Coming up. Maintain contact with tricep. When I bicep. Notice how I drive his elbow away with my elbow. And then I switch it up. I climb as high as I can. I'm gonna walk into him.
100%.
Me?
Yes. I couldn't sleep right now.
We gotta keep that elbow, open up. Once it gets to his shoulder line, it's less
Yeah,
flat.
so
This elbow has to be above the shoulders as much as we possibly get it, and ideally also processing.
I was having, it was like, man, I've got all this space in here on the one side.
Yeah.
Or, so I could feel it on this side, but no, there's.
So just
The
like
lower, the more parallel, like the closer my elbow gets to my shoulder, the safer I'm gonna be. But if I open that thing up, here is like money.
basically like a head and arm, just do it.
That's all it is. This is a head and arm.
Yeah, just keep it as closer to his head.
Yeah.
Cause it was like going almost across the chin.
It's okay if it comes across the center line. If we do want that, but we also
On its higher.
want it.
Because then otherwise.
You got this
Here,
condition.
like this, kind
You don't want
Yeah, right.
Start your-
I don't know.
What were you, I mean, turtle or here?
Not here, it's fine, same. So just saying, if this arm's flailing, you're gonna control it. Tricep here and draw it into the correct position. You know how when I was in turtle, I started from here, like we used to do?
Yeah.
So we're here, drawing this up. We're not out here, we're not here, we're here. This is kind of flared back this way.
Yeah.
And then we're Flintstone.
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
And you draw the right elbow. So you're starting here. There's a whole slew of different. Great.
Josh, your turn.
It's gonna be your other arm, bro.
Do what? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're trying to enter from a Darsh to an anaconda.
Good at
Darshes. I'm like, well, you can get into an anaconda from a Darsh.
Yeah, presenting triangle.
Let's try to get them off their back though. Right.
But just,
Yeah.
here, just be head to head.
Gotcha.
To start. Keep both laying there. And there you go. Good.
See how Josh is still on his back, right? Let's try to get him to a hip, to a shoulder, so that we can actually other shoulders. So we can, yeah, and you stay on your hip so you can walk into him. Take his chin to his chest with your hips. Keep walking into him.
We're like kicking that. Nobody can pick that part of the mission. But when it rolled in, it puts you like exactly where you're supposed to be. But if you didn't roll far enough. Yeah. You'd fall through. Yeah.
Retract your right elbow, Braden. As you walk into him, try to pull your right elbow back towards your lats as you're walking
Cutting
forward.
motion we're talking about.
Yeah, as you're walking forward. There you go.
I know it's working. I see all the veins coming out in Josh's arm.
It's just like. My body type gives it away.
Let's get him. You gotta get him to his shoulder.
Gotta get
You see how he's flat?
yes.
All right. So let's use our head to drive him up. So you can backtrack your hips a little bit. Yeah, start here. Now use your head and your legs to drive him up towards the shoulder. So get him on the shoulder on this side.
Gotcha. It was all in.
Oh, yeah, it was close. Almost let myself go out there.
Start gaslighting.
Yes, sir, Dexter. We are drilling anacondas right here in the heart of Mississippi. Retract your elbow and walk into him. He's starting to come flat because you see how your head's disconnected. Keep your head connected until we've already driven him forward as much as we can.
Yeah.
Looks a little cranky though. Yeah.
It's not as, I'm not feeling the.
We need to keep him on a shoulder, right? So we actually are driving with our head here, right? Does that make sense? Keep going.
I can't know if I just don't feel like my arms in the right spot.
You don't feel in your arms.
I don't feel like my arms in the right spot when I go through.
Alright. Now walk that left hand all the way up the shoulder as high as you possibly can, but stay connected to your head. Now retract your right elbow towards your lats as you walk into them. Keep walking. That's better.
That was better.
Elbow's still a little kind of close to you. Want to get a little more towards the center line. The way we do that is still driving with our head. That's one way. Plus beating him at the elbow with our elbow. We got a Florida man in the chat.
Got a Florida man in the chat. Say hi.
What's up? Florida man?
A Florida man.
What's up, Florida man?
All right, gentlemen, let's circle back up. Let's tighten up a little bit.
Good. Got a fight. Got his third fight coming up.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, same position.
This way.
All right. So a couple of you already
too.
noticed this. Some of you kind of locked this up here and tried to finish here. You notice, see how flat Chad is here? It's gonna be really, really hard finisher. You might, but it's not ideal, right? We want to look at how glued I am with my head, right? This is just like anytime I'm in this front headlock position. Actually, what was our main for the past 2 months we've been on front headlock? What's our control points again?
Chin strap.
Back in the neck.
Back of the neck.
Tricep.
You know what my shoulder's touching right now?
My back.
The back of the neck. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. The back of the neck. All right. Next.
Chin strap.
Chin strap. Next.
Tricep. Arm.
Monitoring the elbow. Nothing's changed. We're just inverted, like in Top Gun. Okay.
Because I was inverted.
So I was inverted. All right. Nothing's changed. Right. So here, this is going to be a hard finish, but because I'm here, because my head is here, because I've got all these points of control, I can easily drive Chad to a shoulder. Okay. I can start to stay connected to him and move him towards a shoulder. Now, in most situations, you're not going to end up here from these entries. Like you might, but a lot of the anaconda entries, like ideally, we're already landing here. We're not having to make an adjustment. Okay. But just so you know, it is going to be a harder finish here. But if we stay disciplined, we're controlling the elbow, we're staying glued to him, we're staying connected, we can recover it. Okay. We can recover it. All right. So here, we wanted to be on a shoulder. All right. Next, I want to make sure we emphasize, I cannot emphasize this enough. The elbow needs to be above the shoulder, right? So you see how it's kind of in line with the shoulder right now? It needs to be above. The more above, the better, right? All this is doing is taking slack out and getting his artery more and more compressed, okay? Plus, if I can drive it up, the further up above his shoulder, the better, and across his center line, the better, okay? So if I can get it like here, like that's a sweet spot right there. That's money. So when I'm ready to lock it up, remember we're maintaining our contact the entire time. We're not just grabbing. Okay, I've got my chin strap. I'm opening my palm, taking my bicep to my palm. Nothing's moved here. Bicep, walk up as high as you can, but stay connected to him. Okay. Now next, as I walk in, we're retracting that elbow. And if you need extra, always think, first off, after everything else is correct, right? I know everything else is correct. If I need extra oomph in this, for some reason the rotational force isn't working, I can also pinch my elbows together, down, and then hips up, head back. Okay? That's extra. You shouldn't even need that. Rotation, the rotational finish should finish everybody if you're doing it correctly. But if you messed up, you're not doing it right, your elbow's slightly out of position, you can compensate a little bit with a little bit of crappier jujitsu by elbows pinched in, elbows down, hips up, head back. Right, but the rotational finish, I think, is king. All right, so again, here I'm crowding his head. We don't want there to be space between his head. I want to crowd his head with my hips and my chest. Take my bicep to my palm, walk up, walk into him, retract the elbow. Okay, and if I need to, I can walk in, pinch my elbows together, down, hips up, head back. Questions on that? Everybody do that one, because it's not crappy. That's not true. It's just different, right? I think the rotational finish is better mechanically, but both work. Both work really well. Everybody hit 5 more of that, and also use that elbows in, elbows down, hips up, head back.
use that cue as well. Okay. Any other questions or any questions? All right, 1, 2, 3.
Thanks. Yeah.
Hey, JC, you got any XLs and that strangle things?
Sure.
Maybe.
No, because if we had them, I'd be wearing them.
Oh,
Dang.
2X. I need 2X on everything.
I was like the aggressive cuddler. I like the aggressive cuddler one because everyone else can look at me like, hey, you guys want to check out my insurance? I'm like, no, you can't.
Sure.
I know nothing. I know nothing.
Yeah, I've got one. All my other ones, I wore them so much they had holes in them, but that one's a white one. And so I get one speck of grease or dirt on it or something, and it was not white. So then I start using it as my work shirt when it's hot because it's white or and so I've got a shirt that fits great, and I love that shirt. Yeah, I can't wear it anywhere. It's like I'm mowing the grass with that thing.
It's all good. So we're here. First one. Yes. And then it's like, you know, put back to color. Yeah, you go.
Honestly, dude, it makes my head on it. Like, I don't feel anything on my neck at all. It feels like trying to scalp me. It feels like.
Here. Yeah.
Going down. 40. Here we go.
You have kids?
Yeah.
Just one. Yeah, one here, okay, and then when you're coming in. Come collect it. Okay, they type it up. Oh. See. Just come in here. You can start to really. Before you even marked it in, you got it. Just. So I haven't really got. No, they're not working here. Well, I was looking at that, I said, but didn't say. But if you need to, then you can squeeze each side and you'll take a deep breath. It's the same thing that's. So you said like, this depends on your. I didn't use my hands, but I. So you were just doing that? You need to test this head and motion, like, so we can meditate, so you feel like. I'll show you what you're doing and what you need to do. See the stars. So you're here, you're getting in nice and tight. Then you're walking in. You get the arm here, you get this control point, push it down. When you get here, you're trying to do it from here. Even when you get to the side, what you need to do is you need to start from. It's already tight. I haven't even locked it as an arm. See, it's going. Yeah, you guys. Once you actually walk in, it's tight. So when we get there, and I haven't even got to the other side. Okay. Just know key little point. Just collapse that head. And you're kind of making it. Okay. You do that. Yeah.
is that it? Looks like it's tap to me, bro. Was that which one are you going for, the rotation or are you going for the other one?
Second one.
Second one? Okay.
It's you pinch, then you. What do it again?
Elbows in, then elbows down, then hips up, head back.
I didn't. This is okay. What was that? That doesn't seem to be good. I was close. Sorry. Remember
Everybody hit 5 more and we're gonna move on.
Where's your kid? Where's your kid?
That's
She doing business administration.
how many reps?
yeah, I'm just like everybody. We're starting to. She's starting to. She's starting to. Thanks.
We still have one viewer.
Huh?
We have one viewer still.
I know, I saw that. It may be,
No, it's not
maybe that
that.
computer. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Huh.
So we have one really dedicated viewer.
When I film,
Get your head up.
we have 14 to 16 on average.
Yeah.
You were just filming, just saying. No, when I film at the time, like they know by my cinematography.
Oh,
this is a good picture. Oh my God, David's.
You're gonna tell it was like 100 people. No.
Alex had to go back and split.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna get MRSA up in here.
No, I had the blister from yesterday. I was on. I had boots on, and the socks kept sliding down. I was like, I had to keep them on.
Bush mower or something.
Yeah, no, my front backyard, it's a white mask.
Really?
It's small, yeah.
Yeah, it's an apartment.
Yeah, I got a little, huh? It's an apartment? No, the house.
Where do you live?
I live on your Harvard houses.
Oh,
I was just saying.
You ever gone over there, like,
Yeah.
Elkin and whatnot?
Yeah.
That little neighborhood right there, the first house on the left.
What's the name of the neighborhood? Armchair.
Our house, literally, the first house on the left, next to the gate, like, the house. Every sort of, it's to go take his bike home.
What I do with it.
If you have to get it, that's what it is. My favorite, especially if he's like the guy who's doing the wood for it. But the gate he came over, and I walked out of the house, and I'll be like, hey guys, here you go. Hey man, you gotta help us get the house. He started giving me a hard time. Right, I came around the corner. He goes, can you please stop harassing the owner, Jake? We're gonna fix the house. And he was so That's good. I've seen him in a minute.
We saw him last week,
He looks
or was it this
doing
week?
great.
One time.
Yeah, we saw him.
Still,
I know last week.
Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, last week.
I think it was last Saturday. We saw him.
Is he armed?
He's military, he's law enforcement with Brand. I think he went, is he Army or Air Force?
He's one of the two. Yeah.
He has an arm.
He's got fantastic.
Air Force always got more money, but he seems like an Army dude with an Air Force.
He had an arm.
No, I'm not. His stuff over.
I don't want it to be too, I don't want it to be too long for.
You have this down.
It's like,
You know, it's down. Sure. Like all that, yeah. It's helping to do mental work, like it's not sick.
Appreciate it. I didn't want to trade.
No.
Yeah, I go. Yeah. I tried to do that earlier.
Once you get it, then
I tried to do that. And the control it. Yeah, it's so tight. I can keep it control. This, yeah.
I'm gonna get one. That's nice about those jokes. They can just play Ring Around the Rosy.
That really bad.
All right, guys. Who's is anyone struggling to finish the drill? Ian, what do you feel like you're struggling with, bro?
Cutting off the artery on both sides.
Come over here and let's see it. Let's show it to the stream so we can debug it together.
Which kind of?
All right, talk us through what you're doing.
All right, so I have my shoulder to the back of the neck.
Is this directly using?
That's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I have my shoulder to the back of the neck. I have chin strap, and then I'll have this tricep.
Okay, first off, what's wrong right now? No, stay where you are. What's wrong, guys?
He doesn't
Help him
have-
out.
Well, it's not locked.
Hmm?
It's not locked up, but I don't know if he's trying to lock it up.
So this is the starting position that he put himself in. What's going on? What can we fix?
There's not a chin strap.
There's no chin strap, right? You're on the neck, right? Yep. So let's go to chin strap. That's going to be a world of difference already. All right. What else?
Is his shoulder on the back of it? His chest is not like that.
Yeah, his shoulder is connected. All right. Go ahead and put the elbow somewhere where you actually want it. All right. All right. There we go. This look better? Yeah, this looks better to me. All right, keep going. Talk us through it, bro.
Shoot my arm through. And then push against the tricep. Okay. Walk my arm to the shoulder. Keep my head. And then turn into. And then track my elbow.
Does anybody see the key thing that's wrong? What's that?
The forearms are like how I was doing.
Yes. Yes. Does anyone else, do y'all know what Josh is saying?
Yeah. He doesn't have the arm touch.
His choke arm's too deep.
So Josh moved, or I'm sorry, not Josh. Ian moved all the way up here, right? Watch my elbow. So if the finish is my elbow is low and retracting, right? As I walk into him, in order to take his chin to his chest, then when I shoot up super deep here, my elbow it's that much more slack that I've got to take out of this choke. That much more retraction I got to do with my elbow. And when I'm this deep, when I lock this up, I'm locking in the armpit. Move your elbow, father.
Chad, that's what we do.
Yeah, see, he can move his elbow all he wants. Okay, he can probably also get to his back right now. Pretty easily.
Where JC's elbow is, that crook of his elbow, there's a gap there. Well, that gap is right on top of the artery, so no matter how much he squeezes, that artery has room to pump blood because the gap is on the artery. That's why it's just flowing. There's nothing there.
This is my crappy side, but we're going to try to do it well. All right, so I don't want to shoot my elbow through so deeply, right? Ideally, I'd like to just point my fingers up, ready to receive my bicep from the chin strap. My elbow doesn't really move. Look at my elbow, my left elbow. See that? Ideally, that's the ideal. Now, sometimes, like I was experiencing with you, right? Sometimes it may be broader shoulders, might even have to with father here, right? Where I have to make a little adjustment, but I don't want to just like shoot my elbow up there. All right. Also, when I lock, I want the lock to be on the tricep. So be shooting for the tricep, not the armpit. All right. So as I take my bicep I'm opening my hand and I'm not losing connection. I'm taking my bicep to my hand. Okay. I'm trying not to let my elbow come out of position whatsoever. I walk up. Okay. And I am having to make a little adjustment because he is broader. But I want to keep my elbow low as much as I possibly can. Now, as I start walking into him, I also want to retract. And look, y'all see I need to do my better side. You see the critical error I just made too? I got the elbow started coming down towards his shoulder line. I need to keep it up and high. Right? Here. Here. I want to keep the elbow nice and high away from the shoulders. Right? If the elbow starts drifting down, I'm not going to finish it. Especially on someone like who's got broader shoulders like that, and I got shorter arms. You guys obviously have no problem. You've got long arms. You can finish everybody.
Can you show us 3 or 5 more times?
5 more times. So let's do the good side.
Good side.
My anaconda snaps. Like I need to work this too. All right. So here, remember, I don't want to shuck through here to the armpit. I'm going to keep it low. Because ideally, my forearm needs to be in line with the jaw for the finish. Okay, you can see the jaw line. So if my forearm is in line with the throat or the Adam's apple, right? Way harder to finish. Here is good. Here's no good. Here. So here, feed and retract the elbow and walk into him.
That's why you're bringing the bicep to the hand. It's the same concept as the darts, which I'm sure you said that too. It's so you don't get that arm out of position. Leave that on that artery and you bring it over instead of getting in a hurry and going, and then you're out of, and you can't figure out why he's not tail.
We're gonna move on, but we'll keep working anacondas. We're gonna be working Katagatame for the rest of the month. So let's stay in this position though, Josh. All right. So the magic of the head and arm, we've kind of alluded to this all month, but now we're gonna see some practical application. I've got a head and arm trap. It means that I have darces, anacondas, and guillotines, right? We have a trilemma of submissions here. So we've just seen the anaconda, right? So if I'm able to get him on his side and lock my choke right there, but sometimes I'm not able to. He defends by bringing this over and posting on my hip, right? Why is this a good idea for Josh?
Gives his arteries room.
Hmm?
I mean, give him space to like.
Yeah, I can't get his elbow towards his center line. So he's relieving pressure here. Right? He's framed up against me. So as I try to walk into him, I'm just gonna move him. Right? But if he's so persistent on keeping his arm on the other side, this is going to open him up to a backward roll into the mount. Right? So we keep our chin strap. We're still controlling this elbow. Okay. I'm gonna look back and I'm going to do a simple, I'm not doing anything fancy, it's just a backward roll. Here. I still have my chin strap, nothing's changed. Some of you are going to be really tempted to immediately just start trying to go like, "Grr," right? But what's one of the main things that I'm main principles that I'm violating right now since I'm on top? All my weight is on my head and my knees, which means the ground's holding me. He's not holding me. So first, let's fix that, right? I'm gonna get my feet low and my hips low, and I'm gonna let him hold me up. All right, next, I want to start moving my head to be in line with his head, right? And my hips back. Now we can start raising up for our finish. Okay. But I want it when I finish this, I want him to be holding me up. Okay. I don't want to be holding me up. So one more time. He starts to defend. He goes on the hip. I keep this elbow now. It's now mine. We're just gonna commit to this backward roll. I'm gonna look behind me and do a backward roll into the mount. Fix my base. Okay. Transition my head. Oh, sorry, bro. You go. Transition my head. Tuck my elbow, and then I can start to squeeze in. Okay. Any questions on that? Let's hit a few of those, and then we're gonna do one more. All right, 1, 2, 3. Get ready, ninja roll.
I feel like I was underwater the whole time. I was just in between my laps and everything.
Keep your chin strap tight.
Now shift your head to the line with Josh. Now retract your elbow toward your pocket. Right. Now you can like a side crunch. And then elbow back. And your head down, your elbow up. It's so painful.
Really did it so fast. I was like, ah.
So you're talking about like concentration.
That's 2025. I want to stereotype you correctly. Yeah, I got
We
it.
had our own.
Just want to make sure I'm calling the right slur. That's what I'm talking.
Josh is gonna wave it around.
We're all in this together. It's an L.
You're like almost going into some kind of break on. So
Tuck your elbow towards your pocket. Put your head down again.
So those first, then they're low.
I can always,
But then
you can't favor that.
They're already get low, you can.
Hey, and I was watching Alabama, the commentator. Lockdown, they got some lockdown.
I'll give myself.
Yeah. That speaks for running.
Alex. So you would.
Well, yep, right here. One of them.
It was a little. One day, one day is a month.
Four things.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna study this year because
It works.
now that I'm under brain and I have like all of his instruction too. It's still a lot to go through. I should have taught me. I'm like,
It's awesome. There's counters to it.
people are saying it's the highest level of sports.
I like it. Awesome.
I'll send it to you.
Like that thing that's awesome. It flows with this one. You can push on.
Yeah, you got control to hit. Yeah, because you can tingle them pretty well. Yeah. I think they go a little turkey too, right? Little tricks and like a turkey bus.
I don't know, because I was terrible at that.
Like a turkey in the bottom.
Today I'm with Robin and I can't look the chick lights off. And I'm like,
You just turn your blinker on, and it's like, just birds, just
you're there.
hope nobody's there.
Or I'm jumping.
Right, here's one feet. Back to your way. There.
Cursing you out, you're just.
Sorry, that part.
You need to put that in. It's got to start in trouble finishing it.
I feel like it's super. I'm not like all the, I know jazz, yeah.
You'd probably enjoy that. Some year.
I like to stay on my memory. So.
All right, come here. Get on me.
All 130 pounds. I'm not like running.
Yeah.
No, you got the right way. You just gotta keep my arm down. I want me to move you back. I'm gonna put all my weight on you, all 40 pounds.
Hey guys, one more just for the road so that y'all can drill this over the weekend or next week if you'd like to. Just so you have one more option here. Come here, Chad.
Reverse or very front.
All right, guys. So one more for the road. Right, if he's here, we've got the backward roll into the mount. If Chad starts to commit hard to his right hip and come up that side, I'm gonna get my head. Keep going. I'm gonna get my head out of here, right? But look, I still have an arm. I swim through. I'm gonna drop him into this hole, and then I'm gonna walk into it. And that's a belly up Dars. And you can do all three.
I like those.
You got a tri-limit there. What's up?
You do that again?
Yeah, one more. So you got an answer depending on what this guy's doing. If he's flat and we've got this elbow, we can backward roll. If he's on his shoulder, we got the elbow over here. We can start setting up our anaconda series. And if he starts committing this side, I gotta get my head. Look, I gotta get my head out of this hole. Okay. Now I've got to shut through. Remember, keep contact with him at all times. I don't want to be down here. I want to be up here on him. I'm going to start to transition to the darts and stuff his head into this pocket. Now I can finish belly up. Make sense?
Yeah, I was thinking about that in the street fight I would have.
All right, guys, that's it for class.
let's get one. Let's at least get. Well, let's get 2 sixers in, and then we'll start practice. All right. We'll start practice a little late. All right. We'll make sure everybody gets at least 2 rounds in here.
Maybe next year.
You okay?
I feel like when
You all right?
Yeah, I get popped my neck when.
I feel like when I'm doing that guillotine, I'm like I can't get my arm deep enough or tight enough. It feels weird. Like I can't.
Are you keeping the chin strap the whole time?
Yeah, I think so. It just wasn't like it didn't seem like it was doing anything. I didn't know what to do.
Let's work it some more at practice. All right, guys. Everybody get 2 sixers in.
That's my best fight.
Over there.
Okay. It's your face. Yeah. They're great things, they can be a real bad thing. No, don't say that. No. I'm good. Right there, I feel it. Oh, yeah. I'll get up eventually. What you're gonna do? Yep. He's gone. He's strong. Oh, don't find it now.
Oh, I'm not even trying, though.
Please don't.
He's away. Oh, what you're thinking.
Don't break contact. I want you to take him down and stay with it. Yes, sir. No. I tried to. Especially if you've already been going for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a rough one. Because I fight. Oh, shit.
Yeah. No.
Towards field up. Move right back up. Yes. That's 2 cents for me.
Whatever you're doing, Bob. I can just move it like that. No, it's gonna be on leg, just close it behind your arms, we think. You know, my arms out. I'll get all arms in there. So, because you're holding me up the whole time.
Hey, wait, 30 seconds. Keep it hard. So, you make that watch your feet. I was like, look at your feet, and I was like, is that the tab?
The dude did this for the tattoo, like.
I didn't want to let go. You'd be like, what'd you do that for me? Yeah. Thank you. No. I'm gonna jump as soon as I'll get here.
Yeah.
And they go like that. That's awesome. That's fun.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
I think I got it. Yeah, you know what I mean? What do you think of it?
Yeah.
Got it, solid time.
One more, guys. One more.
You feel okay. A good father time, not a father time. Yeah, I thought. Do what? Oh, you're gonna raise it hard? You raise it hard, y'all are standing a lot. Let's see his hands. Sir, run for me. Hurt me. Ready? Okay, great. Thanks. Hello. Just me learning. We're trying to. So silent. We're gonna do a lot. That foot was there. It's like grip, but I never really let it go. Thought about cheerleader. These guys all kind of loud. Cross, but it's like, I don't know where to go. But y'all slowing down.
Felt that little drop on my heel, and I was like, it's not even a cry. I'm going to cry. There you go, Frank. Yeah. So I kind of. Oh, yeah.
I feel that. I was trying to spit gum. I was like, what the hell? I was trying to spit some. I had some hair. I was trying to spit hair out. And the gum kept hitting me.
I was being before this, I was doing my work.
Doctor, good to see you.
Harder.
Well, I don't know. There's a way to. I saw everyone in the mouth.
You might know where the one. They're inspired.
Yeah.
So.
I missed it. I'm doing enough to stay on. Not doing enough to keep going.
You could have.
I just don't do enough right now.
You have any X, red part six, right?
Yes. That's good. Moving on. You're sorry.
That was smooth, Jack.
Good, yep.
Uh-oh. Guess he's going all rubber guard.
We're 10 flat now. I have to.
Rubber guard, wow, blew my knee out.
I'm about to blow mine out. It's all good.
Damn boy. You can only go fast. That's what I want. I was. Yeah, I think I'm on. I just felt that story kind of fancy. I don't remember this. Okay. Oh, no, he doesn't have the order. That should be fine. I know. Yeah, I'm like. I can be fair. It's just. I'm gonna say what There's something about being wrong. I'm only wrong with the right ones. Tell me, you're actually able to fight? You're able to fight back? Someone covers you?
Oh, you were able to?
Yeah, AGF, you're able to.
Really?
Yeah.
They get the little stuff?
Yeah.
Dude. No, that'll start fight.
Because I had asked, the old man said, oh, come on, give it a I read your I thought you'd always cover my mouth. I was like, let's cover my mouth. We went to guys. I like vitamins there last night. Yeah, I was like, Mom. Yes, we can bite. I don't know where you got that.
I think I started it.
There we go.
Not on hard.
All right, Compton, get your water.
Got another.
Scott, 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Oh, the 3 minute round?
Oh, no, just 3 minutes till we start practice.
Oh, okay.